It's not that I didn't appreciate the stars, it's just that I'd forgotten their existence. I'd grown accustomed to the city lights flickering like candles from the window of a petrol-fueled car flying down the freeway. Perhaps I'd grown used to no light at all. LA is my home, and all I've known for so long has been the city. The skyscrapers and buildings that become it. My physical being was rooted in the material world, but my internal existence was spent in a place far away I'd fondly refer to as outer space. In actuality, it was just a figment of my imagination, far removed from the tangible sphere, a place that didn't exist, but that others had gone to. I didn't expect to see the earth in your eyes when I looked at you, really looked at you for the first time. I didn't expect to find beauty in the trees or the soil that sifted beneath my feet as I walked with you downtown in boots and a trench coat. You stood near me but kept your distance, and despite the space between us, I could tell that your skin was warm. It must have been, because it was freezing outside and somehow I was burning. As you spoke, I stared at your words and thought about honeysuckles, and how when I was a little girl, my friends and I would pick them in the summertime and drink their syrupy nectar. I wondered whether your lips held remnants of that sweetness, a taste of something I'd forgotten, something I would never experience again, especially with you. I questioned whether the hands you kept tucked in your pockets would feel smooth or calloused against my own, and if they were rough, I pondered about the instances that made them so. You were unaware of my thoughts, and for that I was grateful. If you could have peered into my mind at that moment, I would have died of embarrassment. You could never know that as you spoke to me, I was deep inside a forest. I had returned to Terra, snatched out of orbit. My hair was long and my face was dirty. Everything I thought I was melted away. Suddenly, I was an embryo again. The doctors could hear a heartbeat, but my brain had not developed. I was a blank slate. And if you were to ask, I would say I have no early memories. But my mother's neural pathways were etched inside of me, stored as muscle memory, buried somewhere deep within. Then I was as I am now, standing in the forest beneath a canopy of trees that blocked everything except for what was in front of me. And your corporeal body was not there, but I saw you in the clear stream and the fish that swam within it. I noticed you in the birds and the leaves and the ants that crawled between them. I heard you in the buzzing of cicadas and felt you in the warm, humid wind. You approached me as a bee collecting pollen from the bluebells that blossomed all around, blinding me with shades of indigo I'd never seen. I followed you back to your hive and waited for you to land on me. You never did. And I realized I was never there. But perhaps you were. We sat on a bench outside a restaurant, and I tried to feign indifference so that you couldn't see the effect you had on me. I glanced at the tungsten street lamp to break the trance and grimaced at its artificiality. It reminded me of my life and everything I stood for. When I looked back at you, I saw a field of stars on a clear night in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how you do it. I had been separated from the wilderness for so long, but you were nature personified. Before I went home, I asked you what kind of plant I reminded you of. You said poison ivy. You didn't explain. You just walked away. And I know you didn't say it to hurt me, but I sank down on the cold cement ground outside my apartment and stared at the disfigured cracks in the sidewalk, seeing only myself within them. I thought about poison ivy until I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. By the time I got up, I think I knew what you meant.